Welcome back to Prison Professors, where we are going to continue this interview with an individual who started engaging in criminal behavior when he was still a teenager, and as a result of some of what he learned in juvenile hall, he ended up making decisions, gang-related decisions, violent decisions that resulted in him getting a 38-year prison sentence. He was incarcerated in level 4 penitentiaries, heavily involved in gangs, until he met a guardian angel who I now understand is his wife. In this episode, number 4, and all the previous episodes, there are links below in the show notes, we're going to hear a little bit more about how he became affiliated with Prison Professors and why we began recording these episodes today. So Mariano, thank you so much for coming back. And I would really like to hear this process of, you've told us in the previous episode of how formerly incarcerated people had an impression on you. How was it that you became aware of Prison Professors inside of the California Department of Corrections?
So I believe this was in 2019. I was in the process of preparing to go before the Board of Parole hearings because through SB 261, I had the opportunity to do so. And I actually worked as a clerk in the education department, and they began to run Prison Professor on our, institutional channel, and they began to run your curriculum via TV, and eventually we had the opportunity to incorporate that into one of CDCR's program as a sort of homework for preparing for success after prison. So preparing for success after prison was something that I had taken on myself in order to show the parole board that I was taking on sort of things in order to prepare myself for my eventual release, and sort of saying, I am ready here and I will be ready when I get out because, I am doing this curriculum. A lot of that consisted of a lot of your formulas and the things that you presented with sort of the masterminds and the definition of masterminds. You define it as, people who have this wisdom that you can listen to and learn from. And by that standard, they are masterminds. Your goal setting, the way in which you set your goals, sort of the tangible measuring them and really getting into these values that sort of helped me define specifically what my values were. Then I was going to make value-based decisions. And then I was going to go and speak to these masterminds that knew some stuff about it in order to learn that. And then even further, the networking aspect of sort of trying to get out of prison. I wasn't able to do it by myself on my own. Again, my community in prison helped me out, but I had to make this happen in a way that I had support out in the community. So the networking aspect of your curriculum really helped me out. I adopted it and I took it with me and I built on it and I personalized it in order to have this really concrete plan that was tangible and realistic for me.
And how about the videos? Were you able to watch the videos of me interviewing, like I'm interviewing you right now, formerly incarcerated people who became successful? How did you respond to watching those videos of other people who had been in your shoes and have come out to reach high levels of success?
So my initial response, and I sort of maintained this feeling about it, was that's who I want to be. I want to do that. Beyond your own inspirational story, you talk about transparency, and that's something that I had not been exposed to on that level. And then so bringing on other men who have, been blessed to have the opportunity to earn their freedom, and then come back and in some way give back, some way share, be a testimony, so that hope is being created, for me was huge. And the first thought is, I want to be that person. I want to be the guy being interviewed, and I want to be the guy that's interviewing. And, I would watch the program first chance I got. It was on the loop, so I knew exactly what time it would come on. Me and my cellmate at the time would watch it and just be inspired by it because it was very transparent. It was hey, how did you get out? What do you do? What did you do? What not to do, sort of. So I very much enjoyed it, and it was different. It's within the self-help realm, excuse me, but it's a different branch of it. It's get out of prison. This is how you do it. How did you do it? It's a little different, and it was refreshing for me to see that, experience that.
One of the things we try to do, Mariano, is help people see that getting out of prison is only one step. There's also a big step, as you described, building a network and creating opportunities so that you can reach your highest potential. I really want you to reach your highest potential, and I want to help you do that. And I want to help more people in prison do that. And that's why I'm super grateful to you for coming onto the program and talking about how you transition from a level 4 penitentiary, a life of violence, a life of gang violence, to now where we see you inside of an office looking as if you are a warden rather than somebody who served time in prison. And I know that your wife has got to be incredibly proud of you. And I know that people who are watching this are going to see themselves in your message. So you're really doing this great service. When did you get out of prison?
I paroled March 3rd of this year.
So you've only been out for about 4 months, I guess, right now.
About 4 months.
And how is it that you found me?
So in my process, or in my desire to network under my circumstances, because we are in a crisis with COVID-19, the network that I thought I was going to be doing just isn't possible. I am at a reentry home. I am confined and really can't go anywhere out. Can't go out anywhere. And so again, my wife suggested that I do a LinkedIn bio in order to network and also potentially find a start to my career. So I am very new to it. I am learning how to navigate it. But in doing that, a couple of days ago, I saw your name, I saw your bio, and I remembered that I actually used some of your curriculum in order to successfully gain my freedom, as it is meant to be. And so I struggle to reach out because several reasons. I'm just not so inclined to reach out just automatically. But I understand that it's something that I really wanted to do because I am passionate about helping people that I have left behind. And that's something that you do. You help people in prison. And I'm also passionate about expressing to people that have helped me out, expressing to them that they made an impact in my life. And then so I did that. I reached out, I contacted you, and I asked if we can connect. And when you so graciously accepted, I expressed that I indeed saw you while I was in prison. I used some of your curriculum, and I had earned my freedom.
Well, I can tell you, it's always a thrill for me to hear a story like that, but it's really more important that I hear you communicate that to others, because I want people who are in jail to be thinking of themselves and saying, how do I plant seeds today to build what I can become tomorrow? And right now you're still, in this quasi environment where you're in a reentry center house, but you are home. And the key right now is going to be thinking, okay, how do I transition from where I am right now into becoming a business owner or a homeowner or a level of liberty? And all these things are possible if you follow those principles that we do teach in the course. And since it's really part of my life, it's very easy for me to talk about them because it's not fake, right? It is transparent. For me, it's about defining success. That's the first step in the course. And I hope that anybody who's going through it really understands the importance of that. The second step is to really think about what kind of goals am I going to take that will take me from where I am to where I want to go. Those are like the prerequisites. And we always have prerequisites in life. We may be thinking about how to get a driver's license. You got to go to a class first, and then you got to take a test, and then you get a license. Those are the prerequisites to getting a license. If you want to, get into college, the prerequisite maybe is you have to graduate from high school. Well, the prerequisite to this course is that you've got to define success and you got to set goals. Then you get into the straight A guide, which is you got to have the right attitude, 100% commitment to success. And if you watch the previous videos with Mariano, you're going to hear how he made that 100% commitment to success. Even though it was hard, he transitioned out of gang violence and went and got his GED and continued participating in self-help programs. You got to have an aspiration. He changed the mindset of saying, I see myself in prison, to now we look at him and we see who he is. Then you got to take action. And he took real action steps, as we've heard in these previous 4 interviews. You got to make sure that you're aware of opportunities. As we've listened to him, he's told us how he was aware of the self-help groups. He was aware of the people around him. He chose his friends wisely. He tried to prove worthy of the love that Amelia gave him. And then the world became aware of him. And they started to help him along the way, opening relationships and telling him, hey, you can go from a level 4 to a level 3, because they were aware of his commitment. They did invite him into these types of programs where he could learn from formerly incarcerated people. We got a new lesson in there, Mariano, and we call it authenticity. And I'll tell you about that if you stick around for one more episode. But the second 2 are you've got to celebrate every small achievement. And I have no doubt that you celebrated many achievements along the way. And finally, we show our gratitude by giving these blessings back and sharing it with as many people as possible. And so I'm just super grateful that you did reach out to me. As soon as I hear from somebody who's had exposure to the Prison Professors program, I try to say, hey, well, you're the type of testimony that will help change somebody else's life, or maybe 10,000 people's lives. Just like those masterminds changed my life. And that's what we want to do, is we want to share stories like yours so that people can see what they can become rather than where they are. So thank you so much for being a part of our program. Do you have one more lessons where I can talk with you about some things that you might want to use as you take your next stage into society and success?
Definitely.
Okay, so we'll be back with one more episode from Prison Professors with Mariano Orosco. The show notes below include all the links to these videos that we have been recording. I'm going to release them one day after the other, but after 5 days, they'll all be up. You can reach him as well. We do hope that you will subscribe to the program and support our sponsors at cbdtv.com. We'll be back soon with another episode. Thank you.